This was meant to be a relaxed spring flight to Turweston airfield, but between slot times, aircraft issues and some pretty active thermals, it ended up being a bit more compressed than planned. I'm Dale and this is Left Seat Culture, a channel about flying, gear and the culture of aviation. Most of what I cover is general aviation, but hopefully it's of interest to all pilots, whatever you fly.
Gloucester Tango Alpha 2 ready for departure.
Gloucester Tango, helicopter circuit active, right turn northeast, runway 27, clear for takeoff, surface window 3003.
Right hand up, takeoff, runway 27, clear for takeoff, Gloucester Tango. Hey. Hey, airspeed's alive. You're in the green. Eight.
So the plan today was a simple one, a flight from Gloucester over to Turweston on what was shaping up to be a really nice spring day. Good visibility, light winds and generally the kind of conditions that make for an enjoyable local trip. One thing that does affect flying out of Gloucester these days is the requirement to book departure and arrival slots. It makes sense operationally, but it does mean you lose a bit of flexibility. In my case, that ended up compressing the flight more than I'd originally planned. Before departure, I had a small issue to resolve on the aircraft, which meant I missed my original slot, but credit to the briefing team, they were really helpful and managed to get me a new departure slot about 30 minutes later. The only downside was that I couldn't extend my return slot, so I knew from that point this was going to be more of a there and back than a relaxed visit.
Golf Echo Tango, contact approach from 555.
Contact approach 120.555, Gloucester Tango. Gloucester approach, Golf India Golf Echo Tango, request basic service.
Golf Echo Tango basic service, reported beam Morton in Marsh. Caution, the engine approach is active, runway 27 with a PC12 just past Lapkey routing to Nurmo, 1 at 10 mile final.
Report of beam Morton in Marsh and keep a look out for traffic on sighted, Golf Echo Tango.
Once airborne, it was immediately clear how active the air was. There was quite a lot of thermals around, which meant plenty of gliders and paragliders to keep an eye out for. It's one of those situations where the flying itself is still pretty straightforward, but the workload increases because you're constantly scanning and thinking ahead. Given the route, I decided to head towards Silverstone, giving Hinton in the Hedges a wide berth. That area can be quite busy with glider activity, so it's just good airmanship to stay clear where possible.
Golf Echo Tango, beam Morton in the Marsh.
Golf Echo Tango, roger, he's in front of the head. Golf Echo Tango, which frequency do you send to the head?
Change frequency to Turweston radio 122.180, Golf Echo Tango.
Golf Echo Tango, talk on CSE free talk, free call Turweston, good day.
Talk on CSE free call Turweston, Golf Echo Tango. So welcome aboard with a Left Seat Culture video. Lovely spring day, we've been waiting for this weather. Off to Turweston, I've been there before but not made a video, so join me when we come into land. A glider activity as well at Hinton in the Hedges, so we'll keep a good look out for them. Have a quick look round. I've been there a few times before, always great information from the tower. Like I said, been there twice. First time I had a bacon bap, mouldy bread unfortunately, and that wasn't great. And then the second time I had a breakfast, which was very nice but did take a while. So we'll see if we've got enough time to have some food, but we'll have a quick look around the airfield and the restaurant. So if you're a Formula 1 fan and you've never been to Turweston before, I recommend it because you can go out, do a little orbit over Silverstone, check that out, and then come in like it is today. So have you been to Turweston before? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Nice airfield to visit. Did you have anything from the cafe? Was it good service? And any other airfields that you recommend, let me know. And also consider liking, subscribing, and checking out Discord, all those good things. I think I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but obviously if you use Skydemon, I really do recommend that you get the FLARM subscription as well. Obviously, None of these things are a substitute for a good lookout, but it helps you have a better understanding what gliders might be in the area.
So Western Radio, this is Golf Bravo Oscar Hotel Juliet, switching to en route frequency, Birmingham radar 123.980. Thank you very much for your help. Golf Bravo Oscar Hotel Juliet, roger.
As always, if you want to support the channel, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, family, other pilots about it. And also if you want to grab some Left Seat Culture merchandise, caps, t-shirts, all sorts of stuff in the Left Seat Culture shop.
Western Radio, Golf Radio, Alpha Zulu India, so that's 10 minutes to run to your overhead with that skywell. Thank you, explanation. Alpha Zulu India, Roger, speed join 27 right-hand circuit, stand overhead join please, and the local QFE is 992 hectopascals. Over, we'll make an overhead join, runway 27 right-hand circuit, QFE 992 hectopascals, Alpha Zulu India. Oscar, surface wind is 30 degrees, 7 knots. Rolling, Golf Zulu Oscar.
So Western Radio, good afternoon. Golf India Golf Echo Tango inbound from Gloucester, request airfield information.
India Golf Echo Tango, roger. It'll be a standard overhead join for runway 27 with a right-hand circuit. The local QFE is 992 hectopascals.
27 right hand, standard overhead join 992 hectopascals, and I'll give you a shout when I'm getting closer. Golf Echo Tango.
Standard overhead, just to make sure.
Roger, standard overhead join, runway 27 right hand, Golf Echo Tango.
One of the highlights of this flight is definitely passing directly over Silverstone circuit. From the air, it's instantly recognisable, and it's one of those landmarks that always looks a bit different compared to how you're used to seeing it from the ground or on TV.
Golf Oscar November and Golf Delta Oscar, are you both ready to go?
Oscar November is ready.
Ready, Golf Delta Oscar. If you both want to enter and backtrack for runway 27, nothing known to affect.
Oscar November, enter backtrack.
Entering and backtrack, Golf Delta Oscar.
The arrival into Turweston was straightforward, as is pretty standard here in the UK. I joined runway 27 via a standard overhead join, and although it was busy, everything was well managed as usual. Turweston is one of those airfields where you tend to get a good level of service, even when there's a fair amount going on.
Golf Echo Tango, dead side descending.
Tango.
Golf Echo Tango, downwind 27 to land.
Echo Tango, roger.
Golf Echo Tango, final 27 to land.
Echo Tango, roger. The runway is vacant. The surface wind 310 degrees, 6 knots.
Golf Echo Tango, land.
Not a particularly challenging landing this time, but as I'm still getting used to the Sky Ranger, I was happy. I consider that to be a good landing. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Unfortunately, because of those slot constraints back at Gloucester, this ended up being much more of a quick turnaround than a proper visit. I paid the £15 landing fee and had a very quick look around, but didn't have time to stop properly. Turweston is a really nice airfield to visit when you do have more time. The LAA is based here and there's usually a good atmosphere around the place. There's also the cafe on site, although when I was there, the balcony was still closed for the winter. But when that is open, it's actually a really great spot to sit and watch the runway with a view over the pond. I also didn't take advantage of the fuel bowsers this time, again, just due to the time. So definitely another one to come back to and make a bit more of a day of it. This is probably a good example of how general aviation doesn't always go to plan. Even on a great weather day, things like slots, small delays and time constraints can change the shape of a flight quite quickly. But even with that, it was still a really enjoyable trip, good conditions, interesting en route traffic and a solid landing to a well-run airfield. Okay, so that was Turweston Airfield. Again, I think it's a great spot, great runway, great facilities. Cafe's not too bad, just a little bit slow sometimes, but overall a great place to visit. Yeah, good stuff. Let me know in the comments any thoughts, any other recommendations, and yeah, is Turweston on your list? Thanks so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.